It's time to get your business in gear. Do you feel that sometimes you're in the right industry, but you're not attracting the right clients? Well, let's figure it out intimately with Tammeron is a 1-hour show presenting you with simple and basic tips to help you create a more intimate, fulfilling business and personal life. Now, here's your host, Tammeron.
Welcome to this fun-filled, interactive hour with me, Tammeron. I've created this show to provide you, my listeners, with some of the top experts in the world who can help us all create more fun, passion, and intimacy back into our personal and professional lives. And after being an entrepreneur since I was 26 years old, raising my 2 children, volunteering in my community, and privately educating myself through online courses, books, and self-development seminars, I realized that I have a huge range of knowledge to share with you. And as a motivational business speaker, my passion is to share my intimate stories, and it allows me to work authentically with other people in their business. And I also realize that I attract other people just like me who are a divine mirror of my own life. Entrepreneurs who are trying to find that healthy balance in their life. People who are visionaries, passionate, and highly sexual in nature. There are ups and downs to having all this beautiful sexual energy that swirls around us. And we tend to be very creative, and we have a million ideas whipping around in our heads, and we love challenges, and we want to work with other like-minded people and be successful. But sometimes there are issues that come up. Things like we attract many people who want to work with us or just hang with us. And how do we manage ourselves and our time effectively? And how do we represent ourselves in business to show our true brand? How do we work effectively with other entrepreneurs to create affiliates, joint ventures, or even equal partnerships? This seems to be a huge trend right now. Join me as I interview amazing guests, offer live business coaching, and give you an opportunity to hear what coaching is all about in business. Many entrepreneurs believe their business is different than someone else's, and I agree with this statement. Yet, I want everyone to understand that the reason why you are successful or not in your own business is because of how you think and feel about yourself. Your business as an entrepreneur is about whom you believe yourself to be. And using this as the core of your business, I can teach and help anyone how to make their business better. If you'd like to call in or ask questions, the number is always toll free at 1-888-346-9141. You can also email me at tammeron@figureitoutlive.com or hit the email host button here on my homepage on voiceamerica.com. So for now, sit back and enjoy as we all learn how to become more intimate in your business, to understand what is really going on, and how to see the same in every aspect of your life. This includes your personal relationship that will become better as well, and what a great way to live. So today there is no guest, it's just myself. Hopefully we'll get some callers calling in with some questions. I'm going to share some personal stories, and I'm going to refer to the amazing work of Carolyn Myss, who, again, she is my absolute favorite in the world of self-development. I love all her books. I listen to many of her lectures, and I'm going to talk about the prostitute energy a little bit today because it really turns heads when I talk about it, and yet we all have it within us. We do have 4 very basic archetypes, and so I'm going to be sharing some of that later on during the show. So the title today is called Stay in Your Own Territory. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some stories about what's really going on around me in my life and what I'm attracting for entrepreneurs in my workshops and private one-on-one events here in Bellefontaine, because I do believe that we're always sort of living in that mirror. And so when we become conscious of what's going on around us, we tend to see things, from that bird's eye view. And when we can do that, even in our business, our personal lives, we have that opportunity to move through things with more ease and grace, especially if we are having challenges. All right, so that's really what I'm going to be talking about, and it really is. I'm going to give you guys some tips as well as I move through the stories to really teach you guys how to stay focused. I see a lot of people who, they don't see the big money coming in their business, or they just don't see what they believe should be happening. Again, it's a perception of something, or the perception of that big win or that big money, and sometimes it's not about that. It's the concept of breaking through that barrier or that negative belief system within yourself that we're actually moving through, and so that is the big win on the other side. So, sometimes people get confused over that. A lot of times people associate with money, and it could actually just be an opportunity. So it could be that opportunity to guide you into that direction, that where you want to go. And again, today I'm going to be offering 10% off on my 6-hour business intimacy program. So if you email me or you contact me in some shape or form and you're interested in taking my full program, which I'll be talking a little bit after the commercial breaks, give me the word promo and I'll honor that 10% as well of a discount for that, because that is my full 6-hour program. It seems a lot of people are signing up for that right now. So very excited about that as well. Okay, and if you need to find out more information about that, please remember to go to my website, tammeronsplace.com, to find all that information. Okay, so I'm going to get started. So really, again, I love to share my story. So really what I want to talk about, I've briefly talked about this before, but sometimes, and we have this in the intro, sometimes we, have this calling. We feel like, yes, we want to be in this self-development, new age industry. We want to be working with other people because, we just love to work with people. But there's things that we need to work through, because I do find, even in myself, in my life, and being in this industry, at some point, whether we're in a negative state or an unhealthy state, being a people pleaser, sometime one of the biggest problems we have is that we can't say no to people, and we genuinely want to help people. But when we don't have healthy boundaries around us, not being able to say no can actually be detrimental, especially in your business. You've got to know when you can say yes and when you can say no. And we got to do it with ease and grace. And this is what I've learned a lot in my business as well. So the fastest thing that you can do is, I've shared this before with people, I'm going to share it again. It's a very simple thing. Whatever it is that you tend to do for free, what people seem to be asking you the most advice for, I guarantee you that is what you should be selling. Or I don't want to say the word should, but that really is your opportunity in life. That probably is your purpose on some level. And there's different things that you can be helping people with, but you've got to pay attention to, that common denominator around people, especially if people coming to you for advice for different things. Maybe it's just because you're highly intuitive. Maybe it's because you see through things in a more simpler way. So people tend to come to you. That is the same as what happens to me. People come to me because they know I'm a straight shooter. They'll say, tell me what you think. I hear that all the time. What do you see in this situation? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Whatever. So it's not always because I know what's best or I'm following something. It's just that I see things from a different point of view because I'm a visionary, and I'm not afraid to tell people, even if I feel they're making the wrong decision. And that wrong decision just could be a very minor decision of the way that they could be projecting their plans or presenting their plans or who they're approaching or how they're approaching. So, that really just could be what it is. So again, that's what I'm known for. And so that's the type of people that I'm attracting. Okay, so that's really, really important to know this. And also what I want to share too is that if you feel like you are in this health and wellness industry, it just could be that maybe you need to start creating programs. Maybe you need to write a book. Maybe you need to have some form of a template of your own that you can follow. Because what I tend to notice in this industry is that a lot of people start writing their own workshops, they start creating their own events, and they don't really have a format. They don't really have a way to really present their information in a funnel marketing system. And so they're very scattered. Again, this is a strength where we tend to have a lot of ideas. So I tend to attract people just like me who are visionaries. We got a lot of ideas whipping through our head, but we just don't know what to do with it. And again, this is what I teach people in my business intimacy program, which is that full 6-hour program, is I literally take all of your ideas and I guide you into a template. I give you a template in your brain. We do it on paper as well. And you get to see the big picture. And when you can see the big picture, and then you can start plunking in all the pieces of the puzzle, and you put that into your template, things are going to make sense, because you're probably highly intelligent where you have different things that you can teach people. And yet, you feel like you could just, sometimes you feel like, hey, I could teach so many things. So that's really, really common, and that's a gift. And so what we can do is we can take all that information and we can plug it into something and sort of see how it flows, teach you guys how to do your high-end your high-end programs or events, and how to break it down into a smaller workshop. It could be a speaking subject. It could be an article that you need to write about that's, quick and simple. And that sort of gives people a reason to become interested in you and to want to follow you and to get to know you a little bit more, so that they're interested in spending more time with you. And, they're going to buy those big programs or those big events where you can really help those people in your field of work. So it's really, really crucial to understand, because what I tend to see is people doing this. They know they want to work in this industry, so they write a book, and then they go and they do a workshop, and then they write another book, and then they go and do something else. But it doesn't flow. It's just all this scattered information. And so what I was taught in my business programs is that you start with what they call the end in mind, that big vision. What is it you see yourself on a big picture doing and helping people in this industry? And so when we look at the big picture first, it's almost like we have this huge goal ahead of us. And so with that huge goal ahead of us, we start breaking it down into smaller increments. And when we break that down, that's when we can sort of see all these different areas of expertise, and we can sort of put it into like a storyboard. And so that becomes your template. It could be your template for your book, and then you just start plunking in the pieces. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now, working with an entrepreneur one-on-one. This woman is amazing. She's brilliant. She actually has so much knowledge that I think she overwhelms herself. And so that's a beautiful gift to have. And that's why I said to her, that is your strength. You just need to find someone who can help you make sense of it all. And that's what I had to learn too. So that's what I tend to attract. So the reason why I'm sharing this story, and I'm going to talk a little bit more after my break, is when we have so much knowledge and we want to help people and we don't see the results coming in, it's because we're just not we're not sharing our work in a way that makes sense to other people. And so people may not necessarily really understand what it is that you do. And so that's why they're not signing up for stuff, is because, you can say that you do all these things. And so when people don't see the results, that's when they cave. That entrepreneur, when all the clients aren't showing up, or people ask them what they do and they ramble on about a lot of things, and it confuses people. It's not that people don't want to work with you, it's they don't understand what it is that you do. So it's really, really crucial to understand this. And what happens is when people do this or get to this point where they're so frustrated and they're not seeing the clients or the people showing up, they sell out, and so they give up and they do something else. And it's really sad to see that. So that's really what my show is about today, is to really guide you so that you don't give up. All right. So I want to make sure that you stay in your own territory. You don't start doing something you don't want to do, and you follow your dream. All right. So it's already that time for our first commercial break. So just want to remind you, this is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately. So stay tuned for more after the break.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes life just feels easier, especially when judgment of you or anyone else ceases to exist? What if you could function from that space all the time? What if gratitude is the key? Every time you are grateful for someone or something, a new universe opens up. What difference can you create in your life and the world from the energy, space, and consciousness of gratitude? Join us on Access Consciousness Presents Beyond Saying Thank You every Tuesday at 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel. So today, my show is called Stay in Your Own Territory. So I'm going to be sharing some stories. And again, like I mentioned earlier, some of the work of Carolyn Myss, who is my favorite guru in the self-development industry here, and about really understanding our archetypes, because so many people over the years have said to me, I just, I want to understand more. I feel depressed, or, I just want to know why things happen to me, or why I am who I am. And I always say to people, read Carolyn Myss. Her work is based on the philosophy of Carl Jung, who was a famous philosopher about the archetypes. And, people always look at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, just trust me. Just pick it up. Just pick up the book. And they come back and they go, wow, that changed my life. And I go, I know, because it changed mine. So again, we attract people, I believe, who are the same as us, or going through the same things as us. And it's about passing down knowledge. It's not always about you being smarter or knowing more or whatever. It's just about sharing what we do know, and what we're interested in too. So so I love it. So I will be talking about that today. Again, I just want to remind you guys, check out my website, tammeronsplace.com, if you're interested in any of my coaching programs. Again, they're mainly personal programs. That's what I realized, is that that's how I love to learn. That's how I love to teach. So a lot of my business programs now are strictly 2 hours or 6 hours, and they're available through Skype or in person as well. So today, if you do check it out and you go to my business programs on my workshop page, I will honor 10% off on my business intimacy program, and you just got to let me know about the promo word in order to get that. All right, so let's get back to the show. Before the first break, I was talking a little bit about, not selling out when you're an entrepreneur, and when you've worked so hard and, you've maybe put a lot of time and money, especially a lot of men, they come to me and they go, geez, my wife's getting scared. The money's not coming in. I got bills to pay. And I go, hey, I'm the same. I've been there as well. So it's the ups and downs. But I do believe when that pressure is on, our brilliance comes through, because when things are easy, I know for me, sometimes I'm lazy. I just get too comfortable. So I become brilliant when I just sort of take that time to think. And sometimes it is just, sitting and meditate, or just sitting quietly, or, if you do live in a place in the world where you can be out in nature, I mean, that is one of the fastest ways, to really slow down, is to sit, quietly in nature, especially if you can take your shoes off. That's amazing. We can get that energy coming through your feet. It's divine energy, and nature itself is the perfect vibrational energy. And a lot of times we're just not connected to it, because we're walking around on pavement, we're in our cars, and we're just not touching the earth. You hear that story a lot about how people, they go away to the beach, they go to Florida, whatever. A lot of it is the ocean, but it's also the fact that they walk around bare feet. So again, we need that energy to come through the base of our bodies. So it's very fascinating. I know it sounds simple, and sometimes it seems just a little too easy, but to be honest, sometimes that's all it is. And it definitely does work for me. So I do try to be outside as much as I can, walking my dog, and also using my MRS 2000 machine. And I've had the Canadian owner of that company on the show a couple of times now. Again, that is amazing technology if anybody does want to find out more. And the website for that is pmfglobal.com here in Canada. So very fascinating. That is all copper wiring. That is just connected through some mattresses. You plug it in, and that actually is the exact replica of the energy on the planet. It's that natural energy, that the grounding energy that sits on top of the Earth's surface. So 8 minutes a day on that machine, and you are connected to Mother Nature. So beautiful technology. Again, pmfglobal.com, but email me or contact me if you'd like to know more information. Okay, so let's get back to my story. So I'm talking about, people not selling out. So it really is all about sitting down, getting organized, and thinking, and just changing the way you're thinking. So for me, this happened again in December when things just weren't working out the way I thought they were going to work out. So again, I do believe I'm in the correct industry of working with people, and many people tell me yes, they love working with me. So why weren't things happening the way I wanted? Well, what actually happened was, and this is a true story, I literally sat down and meditated, and all I could hear in my head was, just get a pen and paper, just start writing stuff down. So when I'm hearing something like that in my head, it's very scary, because I'm thinking, well, I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be writing down, because obviously what I'm doing isn't right, or it's not working the way I want it. So it's very scary. But again, to have faith in that knowledge, to have faith in believing what you're hearing, especially in those moments of great fear. And so what I did is exactly that. I went and got a piece of paper and a pen, and I sat down, and I literally just started writing, and I couldn't believe what started coming out on paper. And basically what it was that all of the different aspects of my business, I was writing it down, and I was sort of looking at it somehow from a third person, and I was sort of describing what each part of my business was. And so after I looked at all the different aspects, which there wasn't many, there was about 7 or 8 main areas that I love to focus on. What I started doing was plunking them into a template, and this is what I talk about when I work with people in my business intimacy program. So I was able to say, okay, this can feed into that, this can represent this, and basically everything flowed into a big picture. And I realized that the way I was doing things was that I was basically spending more of my time focusing on the little things that really weren't connecting me to people. They weren't allowing people to understand what it was that I was doing. So I was spending more of my time on that, and I wasn't spending enough time on the other areas of my business that could make more money, like defining those workshops and really writing them up properly and stuff like that. So what I started doing was revamping how I was managing my time, basically, in a very simple way. So I went back and I sat down and I went through everything and I plugged it all in. And what I realized was that when I could spend more time focusing on some of the bigger aspects, these little pieces of everything were actually feeding or breaking down into areas where I could use them into articles and newsletters and radio show topics and speaking topics and motivational speaking topics. So those stories and those things I was talking about were actually allowing people to get to know who I was, because I do speak very intimately about everything in my life. And so using that actually sells me. So it's like I am a mirror of exactly what it is that I'm selling. So when I say to people, you know, I'm a sexual intimacy lifestyle expert, and if you work with me or if you listen to my stories, either you listen to the story of what it is that I'm sharing about my business, and I guarantee your personal life will change, your relationships will change, or if you're listening to my stories about my personal relationships, your business will get better, because that's exactly what happens. It's that connection underneath, that emotional stuff that I'm sharing, the ups and downs that are really the root of everything in your life. And so when you apply the concepts to one aspect of your life, the other of your life automatically change as well. So it fascinates people to understand this, and I talk about it a lot, and that's exactly the type of testimonials that I get from people. So I find it very fascinating. So really what I had to do was to really manage my time, write it all down in a little bit more detail. And it did take me a couple of days off and on. But what I decided to do was to go back to a lot of the people that I had taken business courses from and to start looking through things. And what were the aha moments? You know, I keep notes on everything I do. I write journals, you know, I even recipes when I make, I just love to like make notes about things all over the place. So these are my private thoughts. And so what I did was I applied everything I learned and I put it into this business template. And so I've heard it from some of the biggest business people that I've gone to see who are multimillionaires, billionaires, and basically what they say, and this is the truth, is that they stay focused on their plan every day. And they literally have goal sheets that they look at every day. So even though they have the big plans, the big goals that they want, they need to stay focused. And this is all based on our thoughts and our energy, that whatever we focus on expands, or wherever thoughts go, energy follows. You know, it's that same stuff. So what I decided to do was to take that business plan and to put it into a breakdown of every month. Okay, so now that I have the small things that I can offer, the medium-sized things like a workshop or an event, and then I've got a full day event, or I've got a full day of speaking, or whatever it is, those are the big tickets. And so what I did is I broke it down, and I broke it down into increments of the value of what it was. And I matched it up to what I need as far as my expenses go. And so what I did is I decided to use that and to go, okay, this is where I need to focus. And so I have a little check sheet. So every month I go, okay, did I accomplish that goal? Yes, no. Sometimes I go over. Sometimes I get something, or something new comes up, but it's very similar to what it was I was talking about. And so that's my guideline. And I can ask myself, did I accomplish that goal? And if I didn't, then that's when I know to work on, because it's going to feed another aspect of my business. So this came to me actually in a meditation. All right. So it's very fascinating. So it's already that time again. So what I'm going to do is take my second break, and when I get back, I'm going to share some information from Carolyn Miss, because I just love her work. So stay tuned for more after the break.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet?
Why not?
Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings at the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our timeline. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
The future of online TV is here.
View exclusive content from your favorite talk radio hosts and new programs that you can't see anywhere else. Visit voiceamerica.tv today.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron. You're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel. So just a reminder, I don't know if everybody listens to the commercials, but I'm always looking for live guests to be on the show, maybe once or twice a month, just so we can have some live coaching with some people that are really struggling in their business. So it's really empowering to share your story and to not know who's listening. That's one of the reasons why I like radio myself, is that when you get an email or someone says they listen and they say, wow, you changed my life. You know, it's a little thing, a little story, or sharing what it is that you're going through. So again, you can be anonymous. If you would like to be a guest on my show, just let me know, and we can arrange that for you. So contact me through my host page here, or you can email me at tammeron@figureitoutlive.com. And again, my promo for today is 10% off my full business intimacy program, which is a private 6-hour program with me. Contact me as well and give me the word promo, or let me know the word promo, and that's going to give you that 10%. So I know you've listened to the show. All right, so today we're talking about staying in your own territory. In other words, staying true to yourself. And, you know, a good friend of mine said to me years ago, we laugh, and she's in the corporate industry. So, you know, it's amazing how we're both the same age. We've been friends since we were 7 years old. And it doesn't matter when we get together. We both seem to be going through the same things in our life. She's never had kids. She is divorced. So our lives are very different, and yet we always seem to be going through the same thing. And one of my favorite quotes from her is that she said to me a long time ago, Tammeron, she goes, you know, you got to remember, you're always either buying or you're selling. You're either buying or you're selling. And I thought that is one of the most profound things I've ever heard. So we're going to talk about that today. And one of the favorite people that I love to share this knowledge from is Carolyn Myss. Again, you can get her Who Am I? Her latest archetype book on my website, tammeronsplace.com. Go to the online store. I talk a lot about this in my workshops because this is really for new agers. But her original work came from Carl Jung, and she talks about the 4 different basic archetypes that every human being has: the child, the saboteur, the victim, and the prostitute. So when people hear that word prostitute, they think, you sell your body. Well, no, actually prostitute is when you sell your soul. So I'm just going to read this one paragraph because it is fascinating. And when we can understand this is huge in your relationships and in your business. And I've had the experience of being both in the negative and in the positive. And so it's fascinating to know this. So it says here, the prostitute. None of us thinks kindly of the term prostitute, and yet from this archetype we learn the great gift of never again having to compromise our body, mind, or spirit. You may have already reached the point in which the prostitute has become a mature part of yourself that circles you with a strong vibrational field that says, not for sale. The prostitute archetype engages lessons in the sale or negotiation of one's integrity or spirit due to fears of physical survival or for financial gain. It activates the aspects of the unconsciousness that are related to seduction and control, whereby you are as capable of buying a controlling interest in another person as you are of selling your own power. Prostitution should be understood as the selling or selling out of your talents, ideas, and any other expression of the self. The core learning of the prostitute relates to the need to birth and refine self-esteem and self-respect. We prostitute ourselves when we sell our bodies or minds for money, or when we compromise our morals and ethics for financial gain. That may include remaining in a marriage or job that endangers our well-being for reasons of financial security. In identifying this archetype, ask yourself, have I ever sold out to people or organizations that I did not truly believe in? Have I ever remained in a situation that offered me financial protection because of a desire for financial security? Have I ever put another person in the position of compromising him or herself in order to gain power over that individual? Or have I ever bought another person's loyalty, support, or even silence in order to have my way? So those are very, very powerful questions. I know for me, sold out to people and organizations that I honestly didn't believe in. And again, it was that fear of not being good enough, fear of not knowing enough, or fear of, not being hired, or, having the experience to move on to another position in that moment in time. So it's a very vulnerable place to be. But the truth is, again, it is our fear. Sometimes we need to just look at our uniqueness and our gifts. And that's exactly what I do with people in my full day intimacy program. It is in my 2 other workshops called Who Am I? And I'm the expert. And that's why I choose to do this, is to really help people see the beauty and the gifts in their own life, because we stereotype ourselves so much. I know I've done it in the past as well. And so when we can see how really we're always in the right place, we're always in a place of opportunity, that sometimes it just needs the perspective of a third party, someone who's not as emotional, to really help you see your own light. And this is why I love to do this in my work as well. So another small perspective Carolyn Myss loves to talk about this archetype is to ask yourself these other 3 questions. Have I ever offered to help another who was weakened by his or her prostitute archetype? Do I judge others because they find themselves continually compromising themselves? Or do I think of them as weak and myself as a better person? So those are very, very powerful questions. And again, this is the work of Carolyn Miss. And you can check out her latest book, Archetypes, on my website, tammeronsplace.com, on the online store page. So the reason why I'm sharing with you guys today is because, again, when you sell out to people or organizations that you don't believe in. So in other words, if you are working in your business and things are not working out the way you want, are you giving up on yourself? Are you going to work for somebody else? Are you stealing somebody else's ideas in order to gain financial or to have financial gain, and really doing something that you don't believe in, or fear that your ideas are not working? Sometimes we prostitute ourselves and we sell out. And when we do this, some people do feel a great sense of shame. And so it's hard for them to overcome it and to really get back into staying true to themselves. And so this is usually the point where I attract people who are in this position where they just don't know what to do next. And again, it's because that saying, when emotion is high, intelligence is low. So when we become very scared and we're fearful of something, we tend to get so overwhelmed, we tend to get so confused, and we can't seem to put things into place. And that is my gift, because that is the type of person that I am. When that people are in trauma mode or whatever, for some reason for me, that's when I'm brilliant. It's just I don't know where the information comes from. Even in my own personal life, it's what I call divine knowledge. I don't know. But I can function under that kind of pressure. And I have to say, that's usually when I'm brilliant. Do I want to live like that all the time? Absolutely not, because it puts a lot of stress on the body. But I can certainly help guide other people. And this is where I believe, like I said earlier, is that everything is always right. It's just that sometimes we just need some fine tuning, some just a little bit of adjustments, or just having a sounding board, having someone who will listen to you. Again, I talked about this in some other shows, is, creating programs or small groups of people that will listen to you, whether you're all bartering for services or you're all putting in your time together equally, whether it's just 1 hour a week, 1 hour a month, whatever it is. I tend to have those people in my life as well. I actually have someone who once a week we get together on the phone, and we're helping each other grow, and we're both going through the same thing. Just our lives are very different. And I've never actually personally met her. I met her through Facebook well over a year ago, and we've stayed connected. So it's beautiful to have that. And I still am involved in other groups that I offer here every second Wednesday, my business support program, and those people help me as well. It's just because I have the space. I might be the one hosting it, but I definitely share my stories as well. So it's beautiful to have that. And I have worked with big ticket people too, where again we get on the phone and we talk about different things. So it's all emotional work. That's what I believe. There's a lot of reasons why things aren't happening in your life. It's because of what we think about ourselves. So it's very, very fascinating. So it's good to have that kind of support and to really help move you through that. So for me, meditation work. If you've never tried meditation, I've had some other shows about it. Again, feel free to contact me, ask me questions, email me, click that host button here, page here, and you'll get into my email box, and I can guide you guys into some great sites. And there's a lot of free stuff on the internet, but you got to find stuff that works. There's a lot of different things out there, so don't knock it just because you've heard something or whatever. Try it out yourself and see. You might be going to different places that other people haven't been to that are in your group of people. All right, so it's that time for the last break. I'm going to do it now, and when we get back, I'm going to share a little bit more information with you guys. All right, so stay tuned for more.
The future of online TV is here. View exclusive content from your favorite talk radio hosts and new programs that you can't see anywhere else. Visit voiceamerica.tv today.
When you make decisions, do you ever find yourself in doubt? Are you trying to figure out what's right with you? Are you ready to truly change your life? Listen for the Access Consciousness radio show with the founders of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Here. Consciousness is all about including everything and judging nothing. Our program will help you break free from your personal limitations and enhance positive change in all areas of your life. Tune in to Access Consciousness, Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Voice America Empowerment.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron, and today the topic of the show is about staying in your own territory. In other words, in business, don't let go. Don't let that fear get in the way. Just when you think things aren't working out, you might be right on the brink of something amazing. And yes, I've gone through that a few times in my life as well, especially for someone who's like me, visionaries, people that tend to have a lot of things on the go. You know, one of the biggest keys I can share with you guys is stay organized, get a template, hire a coach, get someone who really keeps you focused. And that's really what I love to do, is to help people who go through the same things that I'm going through in my life. So one of the things I'm going to talk about right now, again, I share this sometimes on my show, I believe I talked about it last week, is, you know, what are the things that people are really struggling with emotionally right now? What are some of the common things? And believe it or not, you know, when things aren't working out, sometimes it's because we're trying to control it all. Sometimes we don't have faith. Sometimes we can't let go. That's exactly what I'm going to be talking about this coming Monday in Niagara Falls here. Speaking that night is, I'm sharing that story I've shared on the show here recently too, about how I had the homeless guy living on my property and just what I learned about myself by just interacting with this man for a week who lived here, 66 years old, and basically just had the things in his backpack, and how that man literally lived on the faith of human kindness and just having faith that knowing he would survive. That was very powerful for me. So again, you know, applying that same knowledge, it's that same knowledge in your business. Have faith in yourself. You know, when you're working hard and you keep moving and you know you're doing stuff, you know, forgive yourself. Just sort of, you know, let go a little bit and know that, you know, things aren't happening not because of somebody else, not because the universe isn't complying or whatever. It's just like, you know, things aren't meant to happen in that full moment. So again, when we try to control it, that's when we get angry and we get really frustrated. So I'm going to talk about this Bach flower remedy called chicory because usually a lot of people that come to me, they need this remedy, and I've taken it myself. So I'm going to share this. This information is from Edward Bach, who developed the Bach flower remedies in England in the 1930s. Their products are all over the world right now. This information is quite available online. Bach flower remedies, Google it, BACH. I love using them. Again, you can use these with medication. You can use them with homeopathy. They're all from nature, which I talked about earlier on in the show. So it's just energy from different flowers, 38 different flowers in nature. So this Bach flower remedy is based on the flower chicory. Okay, so they've taken the energy from the flower, and so what he believed was that human beings have different 38 different emotional states, and they could be in the positive or negative state. So when he found that there was 38 different flowers, actually that corresponded with these emotional states of minds in humans. And so if you take the Bach flower remedy of the flower, the state that you're in, it can balance itself naturally into the positive state. So listen to this, because you might find this very fascinating. The Bach flower remedy chicory is about loving without conditions in its perfect positive state. In its negative state, when it's absent, however, the person is the classic case who never lets you forget what you owe him and what he's done or keeps doing for you. Their constant complaint is they have done so much for you, and after all that, look at the way you repay them. It's almost as though every little gesture was a calculated attempt to keeping score of how much you owed him. He can be expansive and seem very generous, but there will come a time when he comes around to collect what he feels is a fitting exchange for what he gave. Never mind how self-interested they are. In the beginning, they come across as warm and very helpful folk. You usually never suspect in the beginning that everything they give you comes with conditions attached. Then slowly, they start to want to have a say in everything you do. Followed, of course, with payback time. And with chicory, they learn to be nice without expecting anything in return, just for the sheer pleasure of being nice. It's a great children's remedy. The sweet child who is nice to everyone, and the moment she is thwarted, turns tantrumy and sullen. And just because she feels she is well behaved, she also expects not to be checked or corrected for anything. So when someone needs chicory, he is constantly assessing and calculating everything he does for everyone in his mind. It's almost like his mind keeps score and attaches a value to every good deed he does so he can recover it in full measure later. And in their minds, there is this tremendous need for affection, and it very often stems from being unloved as a child and getting attention by making people feel obliged. Chicory makes a person like this more balanced and not feel the need for outside attention to feel good inside. It also teaches him that he cannot expect anything just because he helps or gives. Emotional blackmail is common in people who need chicory. It's like a parent who does a lot for a child and then keeps reminding him about it till the day she dies, or a person who tries to help by giving advice, which usually turns to finding fault. This person will always make it out that it is because they love you so much and care for you that they are pointing out flaws in your makeup. And chicory takes away this holding on with invisible emotional strings and helps a person to be more self-sufficient. These people, once they get into the positive chicory state, will astound you with their incredible capacity for loving and giving. And a woman can become the epitome of motherhood, while a man could rise to his full potential in every way, including spiritual growth. They learn to respect another's territory and stop wandering into areas that should not be of any concern to them. So I love that remedy, chicory. I have taken it myself. So basically, in a nutshell, what they're trying to say is that if you are trying to control, or if you feel like you've done something in your business and you feel like, you're not getting paid enough, or things aren't coming back the way you expect them to be, then you gotta let go. This is what this remedy is all about, because, it is coming back to you, but it might be coming back to you in different ways, or you need to define it like I'm talking about on the show today, or really maybe tweak something so that, you know, that equal balance is coming back and you're actually living in your purpose. You're actually doing more something of what you're in line to do, where you're not selling out on yourself, and to remain truthful and to remain strong. A great example of that for me is in my business. A lot of people say to me, oh, you know, why did you open a business out in a small town where you serve all this health food? Who's going to buy it? And I said, well, the reason why nobody bought it before was because it wasn't here. You know, people like to have options and choices. Do I live this extreme world myself? No. But it's nice to know that you can go somewhere and that there's a healthier option of food. So if that's not your line of thinking, you won't understand. So people keep telling me, shut it down, don't do it. Who's going to buy stuff? And I say, I would. And I know there's other people just like me. So in other words, I don't sell out. I don't say, oh, yeah, they're right. I believe in myself. I believe in the people who are just like me, who want to have a choice. And so I chose to remain true to myself and to offer this type of food that I feel other people would like to buy. And so when that happens, the magic happens. And yeah, it's scary, and sometimes I do second guess myself or whatever, but no, the more I stay true to myself, then that's when the magic happened. All right, so it may be happening for you. So just remember, if you would like to contact me, go to tammeronsplace.com or hit that email host page here on my host page, and you can speak to me directly. So I just want to remind you guys to say thank you for taking the time out of your day and to spend it with me here on the show. And I hope you resonated with me in some way, or you feel compelled to listen again to this recorded version or share it with your friends. Always remember that my life is the same as yours, and I'm not perfect, but I just love to share my stories of challenges. And I genuinely want us all to become successful so we can live happier and more fulfilling lifestyles. And it requires some courage, communication, and most of all, some fun. And no matter what we need or what we feel we need, I believe it can be accomplished in a comfortable, relaxing, and a safe place, just like right here. So remember to come back next week for another great show with me, Tammeron, on Let's Figure It Out Intimately. So cheers for now.
Thank you again for listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately. Please join Tammeron again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Let's figure it out intimately. Again.